Hello everyone, welcome on the Compassionate Desk Health Podcast, where we explore topics essential to living a fulfilling and healthy life. Today we delve into stress and anxiety induced by the school. I have my guests from a certain university. They don't need more introduction, Emily and Emily.
Hello.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
We're in the first segment, we're going to talk about stress and anxiety management induced by school. We'd like to know what your past experience is at school.
Experiences are a little bit different. Well, besides, we both went to Ohio for undergrad, but now I'm in grad school. I'm still in undergrad, so right now it looks a little different for both of us.
Oh, that's beautiful. So, what are you studying?
I'm studying occupational therapy.
I'm studying communications and fashion.
That's beautiful. What did you decide to do that?
I knew I always wanted to help people, and I knew I wanted to be in the medical field. And I originally was going to school to become a physician assistant, and I didn't love all the math and science it required. And you unfortunately don't get as much time as you would like to with your patients. So with occupational therapy, it's more of a holistic and client-centered practice. So I get to work one-on-one with my patients, which I really liked and really wanted to do. So.
Yeah, that's something cool. I'd love to hear that more. And how about you?
For me, I always loved arts, but I'm not super artistic in the sense of painting and drawing. And I grew up with my mom who has done stuff with fashion, so I kind of had an interest in that, and I like to talk to people and communicate with people. So my degree kind of combines both of them.
Really so reflecting. I love that. I'm so fascinated by the way you say that. I mean, everyone has got what pushes them forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's so beautiful. For me, I have something I really like. However, it's not what I'm doing right now. But this is one stage for me, and that is IT, information technology. So it's not something I'm really so passionate with. I'm more passionate with robotics and AI, artificial intelligence. So that's something I really love, and there's something that pushed me also. So when you said what really pushed you to do that, kind of resonated with my so beautiful. Another thing is what do you do? How have you managed stress and anxiety in school?
I feel like for me it was definitely different in high school than in college. 'Cause in college you're by yourself, so you have to come up with habits that only you can push yourself to do. So I try to go to the gym with my friends if I'm stressed, or even just drive around and listen to music, and just I have certain friends that I talk to that help me think through my problems and try to calm myself down before I tackle what's stressing me out.
Yeah, Emily.
I think my answer now is changing because of grad school. I think in undergrad I was very similar to and working out, going for long walks with my friends was super helpful, and it still is now. But I think the issue now is making more time to do those things, just because grad school has been very demanding. So I think just making sure I'm actually doing what I need to for myself to get through school. I think it's more so keeping a regular routine. So when I make a habit and change my schedule and I go to the gym before I have classes, that's super helpful for me because it's something I get to start my day with, something I want to do before I have to go and sit in a classroom all day. So I'm doing something for myself before I do something that is going to require a lot of energy and effort on my part. So that's been super helpful. I also live with 2 other girls in my program and another friend from home, so that's been so helpful to just have a support system close by at all times. So I think really just making time for yourself has been super helpful for me.
So how's your schedule been like that? I mean, you don't have anything that really interferes with your schedule, because it's different for me. I mean, for me, I could be with my personal schedule, and you say, I have to do this, and then something interferes with it, and I'm like, oh, I did not do this. I mean, how do you deal with that? Have you had that experience before?
A lot, yeah.
Let me say, like you said, you've learned to use your time well, right? You schedule and do school stuff, and still you have to hang around with your friends, right? I am so fascinated by that. I would like to know more about that. Like, how do you manage that time?
How do I manage the time to like make a schedule?
Like, I'm thinking you might be doing this, and then you're like, oh, I did not do this, or maybe. Of course, it's not persistent. Let me say with a different. You can be with a different schedule tomorrow, which is not today, right?
Yeah.
But still, you're not going to be like that the rest of the week, right? So let me say maybe you can wake up in the morning and say, okay, this is my schedule for tomorrow, right? And then something comes in tomorrow, and you're like, I did not schedule this, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you deal with it? Do you think that has a way it disturbs your brain somehow, like in your mental health or something?
Yeah, definitely. I think you have to learn how to be flexible and be able to be okay with changes, which I get can be really difficult. I think grad school has taught me how to be very flexible and okay with my schedule changing. And just kind of letting it take over and like being okay with that you're not in control, I guess. Is really.
I feel like my schedule changes a lot because of like clubs that I'm involved in and like different projects being different like weeks and stuff. And I struggle with procrastination because I have so much going on in my head that I forget, and then I realize I have to do it the next day, and then I have so much to do, and I get like super stressed and I shut down. So like for me, I have to like plan in ahead when I want to do things, even if I can't always do it then. At least then I'm not like super stressed about it when it all comes to like the point having to do it.
I mean, that resonates with mine too. It's something that is becoming a huge problem with me. However, I'm trying to find a way to manage it. However, it's tough. It's like when, okay, mom always tells me this, like, you're gonna fix this, okay, there you go. And then it takes like a week without doing it, and it's not because I'm busy or doing I'm like getting from one point to another to this one, and I'm like, it's like, concentrate on one thing. Why are you getting this way and this way? I'm like, I don't even know, man, why is this happening? But it actually resonates with me, and I don't know how to manage that. I find it really so uncomfortable.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So also you've learned to deal with that, and that. So like, let's say there's someone else who is suffering from that problem. Like, what advice would you give them? Like what you said, you need to be flexible, right? People like me, that's something hard. Like being flexible. I mean, it's also a value,
Yeah,
flexibility. However, I can't promise you that can work out easy, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think that's when, advice-wise, I would recommend to someone like a planner or something similar so that they could still feel in control, Like if they can write it and if they can plan for something, they can write it, or if plans change, they're able to change their schedule like in a planner. So they still have some aspect of control, I guess is what I would say.
For me, I always use my phone for my planner because when I write it down, it tends to stress me out more because all I do is look at it and I'm like, I have so much to do. And if something comes up that I have to do, then if I don't get everything done, I like stress myself out more. So I like to like use my phone. And I feel like for me, like advice I would give is just to find like someone that like you can talk to about like anything and just like spend time with that person, and like they want to listen because they care about you, so that helps a lot. Just to have someone just to sit and listen, and like you can think through everything that you're thinking out loud, and it's easier to like process everything you have to do, and like if there's something you can get rid of to like decrease your stress.
Lovely. Thank you for that. Also, you talk about using a phone to keep the record, let me say, in the schedules. There are some people like, me myself, I'm that kind of person who is like gets attention from different sources using my phone. Let me say, at TikTok, like YouTube.
Yeah.
Like that, if I get to, let me say, I'm opening my schedule to see, I have something to do. But then I tend to see like a notification in my phone and go, this guy did what?
Yeah.
Like that. And then, you look into it and then guess what? It takes your attention and you're like, man, but, how to manage?
I don't do very well. I feel like that's like one of my like negatives that I have to work on, especially like at school because I'm up so late, like talking to my friends, and then like I go to sleep and then I wake up and it's like we're all like talking again because it's like a whole different like community of people basically, and then you want to keep up with your friends from back home. So I feel like technology is definitely like added stress because I could just sit on my phone and like watch like Netflix or like TikTok and say I'm like taking a break, but then my break turns into 3 hours when I like could have been being productive.
That's true. And I love that you're genuine about it. I mean, people will be like, oh man, I don't use TikTok. So, like something I call an insight about anxiety. Me personally, how it has affected. So much it was about when you go to school and let me say it's time for examination, you have to read. It has been a very, very tough time for me to catch up with others. I'm this kind of person who doesn't like stressing myself. I mean, I have a lot of stress on my head, and sometimes it doesn't even mean there's something wrong. Sometimes it means my head is piled up with a lot of experience I've had in the past and mixed up with the present. And sometimes I'm kind of like looking for an affirmation. If I'm okay right now, with the past experience, right? Maybe I'm over it. Or maybe not. I don't know. I'm trying to convince myself maybe I'm okay. Like that. And sometimes it kind of brings these fierce waves. I feel like my brain is on fire. The time when I get a book to read, I'm like, now I need to finish this within a week. And then I'm like, also I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do that. I end up going to sleep, This is something for me. Like, have you had that same experience too? Like when you're reading books, time for examination, you can have enough time to revise. I'm guessing you might have passed through that same experience.
Yeah, definitely. For me, I get really antsy, so like I can't sit down. I have to move and I have to mine's kind of, I learned this at school actually. Mine is more sensory. So like I need to touch things. I need to so I'll go for a run or I'll start cleaning the house, like on the ceiling. So, but I kind of just accept it and I let it happen and I do it. And then when I kind of can feel things slowing down, then I'll try again.
I feel like my reaction's like the opposite. I shut down. So like if I get super stressed, like I feel like I can't do anything. And like I would just lay down all day. Or do things but not what I'm supposed to be doing. Like I'd go do something with my friends but not what I need to be doing to be productive. So then it stacks up and my stress gets worse.
Yeah, that's the same to me actually. And I end up getting asleep.
I'll sleep for a while.
Yeah.
So and even it is something that is uncontrollable for me because I tend to be to convince myself, oh, you need to do this, but still you're like, I'm tired, I can't do it. You feel like your body is hurting. I mean, someone actually told me that you should go and bathe sometime when you feel like that. I'm like, let me try it. I can't say it was something that helped me, but I mean, it's cool. You just concentrate for a bit and then after you get to the same problem. So. I'm still learning how to deal with it, however, with conviction. So, another question is, first I'm going to ask you a question. We're still with, dealing with stress. Is there any physical thing that you've learned in the past, to pass through the anxiety problem? Let me say, for me, personally, I've learned to deal with anxiety in different ways. For example, I have where it's like a shoulder to lean on. It's not a person. Music. I've learned that music is a healer for me. I mean, different people would say, I go for exercise. I just run and come back and bathe and I'm fine. And other people would be like, I just sleep. Some people I just, I sleep too, but it doesn't help. Most of the time I wake up when I'm really tired and I can't do anything that is really productive. So most of the time I put music and listen to it. And the worst part of it all is like I put sad music. Like I've been intoxicated with some kind of music, this emotional music. And you're like, oh my heart will like that, you know, like and then you feel like you want to let down tears, you know, it's not easy for me to get them out, but it heals me in a process, because I feel like, oh, this has happened to me. I've learned to, you know, to let out my feelings, and it heals me. I feel like a newborn, so I can sit down and concentrate after that. And I mean, do you also have the same thing that I've learned in the past? Let me say, you have something that you can share with others.
I think I'm definitely the person, like I said earlier, like I go and I exercise, like I have to move. I can't sit, because if I sit, I'll be kind of stuck with like my mind running of everything I need to get done. And I think that just makes it so much harder. So I've noticed if I move and if I kind of refocus on something else, like if you're running, your brain kind of turns off. Things like that, I've noticed that helps me. So when I come back, I can kind of collect myself. And I think it just really, it helps me personally. But I know there are other people that like to just sit in it and listen to music, which kind of similar to you.
Yeah, I feel like for me, like a positive thing is like when I'm with other people, like when I'm alone, that's when I like get more stressed and anxious. But like when I'm with other people, I'm distracted, and it helps like calm me down. But I feel like it's not like great ways that I cope with it, but I do like sleep a lot. But like the same as what you were saying is like if I sleep a lot, I'll wake up and I'll be more exhausted. So it doesn't really help. But like my body just shuts down. Like I'll have to sleep and like listen to music. But I feel like the best thing to do is like be with other people and distract myself for a little bit, and then like try to refocus.
Well, is it the same thing that happens to you when you're at school, or just when you're at home? Let me say, for me at school it's different than when I'm home. You know, when I'm home I'm free, I can do anything. Then and decide to sleep, or maybe I don't know. For you, do you have that kind of life? Let me say, when you're at school, like, oh, you have to do this. You get, even you're convincing yourself that I need to do this. I don't have to rest. You get the same thing at school for me. So that means I cannot sleep at school even when I feel really so exhausted. I don't know. What about you? Is it the same schedule you use, or is it the same strategy you use when you're?
I feel like for me it's different, because like at home I'm like at peace, and like that's the same routine that I had for like 18 years of my life before I went to school. So I just feel like calmer, I guess, because like there's less responsibilities normally when I'm home, because I would mean like we're on like break from school, so it's normally like a relaxing time, I guess. Where like at school I like commit myself to do too many things, so then I'm constantly running. So like when I'm home it's like calm, because that's like when I can sleep and like take care of myself for how busy I am at school. I feel like yours is the same.
I'm the same way. Yeah, home is definitely like the first time I think we both take a breath and kind of get to not think about things.
So in this next thing, now we're going to talk about something that I think we have in common, and I believe no, actually it is something like, well, you know, I say with I think because I wasn't diagnosed. So, and this is ADHD.
It's okay, I don't
yeah. People look at my experience and be like, got ADHD. And I mean, at the first time I was like, what do you mean ADHD? But I don't know what that means myself. And until one day when I learned, like, you know, still it's like when you're not really so concentrated on what you're doing. I learned that. Like, can you tell us about, you know, the past experience?
Sorry, it's a chicken.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm not a fan of chicken. How do you manage ADHD, is your question?
No, I mean, how has it been with you?
Like when was the first time you
and like when did you experience it? Another thing is, does it feel heavy?
I think the first time I ever noticed it has been within the last 2 years at grad school. because I think I've always been a good student my whole life, and I was really able to focus and concentrate, and I enjoyed school. Now it's like a whole nother level, and it's more consistent, and there's a lot more pressure. And so now I have noticed, and it's funny because a few of my classmates have noticed it, and are like, you should probably go and get diagnosed, because there's times where I can't sit in my seat. I just have like a hard time standing still, and I'm moving constantly. I can't focus. I don't know if you guys have felt this way, but I reread the same sentence in an article constantly because I can't even remember what I read because I just can't concentrate on it.
I mean, when your fellows told you, like your fellow students told you about that, like how did you feel? Do you feel like I'm offended? Like why would you think like that?
No, I think I never felt offended because a lot of other students in my classroom are actually with ADHD.
For a chicken, now there's someone else ADHD. You know, it's not something good to be proud of. Someone to say you have ADHD. I mean, I would be offended and be like, why do you think I got it? You know?
I feel like in America it's really common, especially with younger people to have ADHD. Like a lot of my friends definitely have it. I feel like I realized it in like high school. When like a teacher would be talking and we were supposed to be taking notes, I can only be taking notes or listening. Like I can't be doing both at the same time because there's too much going on in my head to like actually be processing what they're saying, because I have like a million other thoughts that I'm thinking. So like for me, some of my teachers at high school gave me a copy of the notes, so I would type it at home. So then when they're teaching, I could just take notes of what they're teaching and not what the notes were. So I'm trying to like actually focus and like pay attention to what they were doing, which helps a lot. And I feel like I didn't really think I had it though until like last year, because I cannot finish a story. Like I would talk to my friends and try to like tell them something that like had happened the night before, and they would get so mad at me because I would just go on like, not mad, but like I'd go on to 5 different and I'd forget what I was saying for the original story. And they were like, you can't concentrate on like one thing. And I think that's like when I noticed that I do it a lot.
I had my but we used to have like Zoom meeting, and one day we were on Zoom meeting, and we were, I talked a lot of stuff. I was trying to narrate something, but the problem is I kept talking about different things, and then I didn't even know how I'm going to join them together to complete what I was trying to say exactly. So he was like, you need to learn how to speak precisely with few words and meaningful words than just saying a lot of words. You end up with any ways to join them.
The and the
Create
like.
something very, very important. So, and that was a problem. It's when I'm learning on how to.
I feel like some schools have, ours is called like SAS or something, like Student Adaptive Services. I'm not sure if
like
that's like a thing.
accessibility.
Yeah, but like you take like a test basically, and then they'll like give you things that'll help you. So like I know a lot of people that have that, and they get like extra time on tests, or like they get their notes printed out ahead of time for them, their lecture notes. So then when they're in class, they just can be listening and not having to worry about like things like that. So like small things like that I think really do help, because it's not like you're getting like an advantage, but you're just helping your disability, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
Like it's making it fair for you to like learn at the same level as everyone else.
Right.
So I feel like that's really good. I don't know if you have that here, but
It's not common here. This was the second segment in this episode, but I have, if anybody out there has ADHD or has experienced ADHD, could also give us some strategies you have used to get over this. I'm going to head to Q&A. So my first question goes to you, Emmalee.
Okay.
The question is, what do you do?
I feel like it's hard because I'm trying to think now. I feel like I don't
There's
even
no
have
problem.
a lot of time to be bored because there's always so much to do.
Oh, really?
But I think, honestly, I feel like I'm just saying the same thing over and over, but I noticed just walking with my dog, and if I have any of that extra time, I love to just spend all my time with him, and it's nice because he's kind of like therapy, and it's not just for me, like my friends too. He just really helps everybody, just kind of, like walking him and seeing how happy he is.
I feel like in school I don't really have time to be bored, but like at home I have more like downtime. and I'll like watch a movie or like just kind of like spend time to myself. Like I don't know, like maybe like paint something or like spend time outside just like reading a book and like relaxing. And like in the summer, I like tanning, so like I like laying out in the sun.
I like
feel like
those ones.
It's very like calming, like just kind of like decompress like by myself.
And another question is, what's your favorite snacks? Like, do you guys have favorite snacks?
We like chocolate.
I was gonna say anything chocolate is my favorite.
You like something sweet?
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely more sweet than what salt, savory.
Yeah.
Chocolate covered pretzels.
Ooh, or strawberries.
With strawberries. Yeah.
So you guys, this one is doing, and you're doing fashion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll come to you. Are you planning to have like a hospital?
I don't know what to do yet. I'm gonna see. There's so many options. I can work in a school. I can work in hospitals. I can work in outpatient clinics, have facilities. So there's so many different options for me. So I guess I would love to do traveling OT. So wherever they need me is where I would go. And they may need me in Africa. I don't know. We'll see.
It's inspiring for me. In you doing fashion, right? Like, what are you going to be dealing with mostly? Like, dressing artist or something?
I want to do like social media for like a company or like event planning or something like that. I'm not really sure yet, but I still have time to figure that out.
I'm going to be coming. You're going to be dressing my show then.
All right, I will.
Be careful. I don't want to get an accident, so I don't have to come to you.
Be safe.
I'm just kidding. And if you can describe yourself in just one word, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I had one. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Go ahead. You go first.
I was gonna say personable.
Awesome.
That's a
Tell us-
good one.
Can you tell us what that means?
So that's like you're like down to earth in a sense. Like I don't know, like you like to talk to people, like you like relating to people. Like I like being a friend that people feel comfortable talking to, and like someone that they trust to like understand and not be like above them. I guess like
Yeah, it's a good one.
I'm gonna ask the same question to you.
I think I would say empathetic. I think just with the profession I'm going into, you have to be someone who is empathetic, and you have to have a lot of patience and just care for others in order to help them to the best.
If someone can look at you, like, in which word can he actually describe you?
Without speaking to them first, so just like looking.
I can say, someone look at me and be like, you're kind, like that. Or maybe you're welcoming, like that.
Honestly, I feel like mine would be intimidating. only because I feel like I have such like a serious face, and I don't mean to.
And who says that? Who says
A
that
lot
is
of
wrong?
people.
Who
So
says
I
that?
just feel like it kind of comes off like not welcoming, which is not how I am.
Do you kind of look in the mirror and be like, oh,
I might fart.
if someone would be the mirror and I was that person in the mirror, would be looking at me like, man, you're intimidating, like that.
I think I just have like a serious face, and I think sometimes, unless it's always before I smile. Like if I'm just like walking somewhere and you're walking past me and we don't make eye contact and I don't smile, I think I look like a serious
What about me?
person. You
look smart.
I was gonna say you look intelligent.
Yeah.
You look very intelligent. What about you?
I don't know.
Just briefly, one word you can think of, like, what do you?
Yeah, like maybe like friendly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
that's,
say so.
Like I feel like I'm very approachable.
yeah, that's beautiful.
Does mine sound crazy?
No.
Isn't that fair? I don't know. I feel
I
like
know. I
I'm
never thought of you like that, but I also
like before you met me.
no. But we were just connected.
Wow, I was waiting for attention, huh? So that's so beautiful. I had to have you here in this episode. I loved it. Your points were really so reflecting. I loved it. So
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Asin.
Yeah, thank you so much. I love you guys.
Love you.
Next time we'll come. When you come,
Yes.
we'll talk about something different.
All right.
Deal.
Yeah,
And
maybe
your
we'll hang
podcast will be
Yeah.
huge by then.
Like,
I'm excited
Thanks
to
for
see
having
it.
us.
I will be excited to have you. Bye.